This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. As of now, we had seen many points in stored procedures, how to create a stored proc with input parameter, output parameter, what is the difference between input and output parameters, return statement, and how can we write complex stored procedures with the help of transactions, and how can we implement recompiling. Why is that we need to recompile? How can we you know improve the performance of the stored procedures? And for that we have discussed about recompiling the stored procs. Now there is one more important concept you got to understand, that is how do you debug the stored procedures. Debugging means troubleshoot. Troubleshoot means what? Whenever you join in a company, somebody would have written a stored proc with the 10,000 line of code, and your manager comes and asks you, "Hey, John, you please debug the stored proc which is not executing properly. You need to see where is the error in the stored proc." Okay, for that purpose, when you open the stored proc, you will not be able to understand what is the logic they have written. So you need to understand where the stored proc is getting stuck. So that means what? You wanted to see a line by line execution properly. Debugging means troubleshooting. So as a software engineer, you are there to write a stored proc, and you are there to debug the stored proc also. Somebody else would have written the stored proc, and that you need to debug and identify the issue in it. Okay, many times this is one of the important skills the software engineers or the database developers should have it. Okay, so how do we debug the stored procedures? Let us see the steps. Now, if you wanted to execute the stored proc, normally we click on execute button, right? Or we click on F5 to execute it. But if you wanted to debug a stored procedure, you have to use execute proc name. And if you have input and output parameters, that you have to supply it over there. And instead of pressing F5, you have to press Alt and F5 both buttons together. Clear? After that, you have to press F11 to perform step-by-step debugging. Debugging means you can see whether everything is properly happening or not. For example, there is a cricket match going on. There is a LBW out. Okay, so umpire declared LBW out, but you couldn't identify whether it is a out or not. So what they do is that they replay the video with a slow motion. So when they give a step-by-step video playing, that is what is called a slow motion video. You can identify whether what is the issue in the out. Is it really LBW or umpire declared wrongly or not? So debugging means you are executing or replaying the video in the slowly, so that you can understand in which point you're getting the issue or which point you are able to identify the out. Clear? So that is what is called debugging. So it is just like a replaying the out video, LBW out video with the slow motion, so that the people can easily understand. So there is a out, there is a problem in the match. So like that. So if you do normal F5 means playing the video cricket match fastly. So you will not be able to identify where the real issue is that. So next time when they replay the video, they'll be giving a slow motion option, so that all the viewers can easily understand there is a real out over there. So instead of pressing F5, you have to press Alt F5. Let me go to the SQL server quickly. Let me show you. Now, yesterday we have written this stored proc, and what we are doing, we are now inserting lot of data, and this guy is doing a cash deposit of some 8,900. Let me do what is that he has done already. Do we have any kind of a balance over there? As of now, it doesn't have any balance. It did not do any transactions. He has opened one account today. That's it. So what is going to be doing now? He's going to be depositing some cash. Okay. So now F5 when you execute or click on execute button, it is going to be executing very, very fast. Let me execute this and show you. Now it is very, very fastly got executed. Now we don't know what has happened. But end of the day, when you go there and see, you should be able to understand that there is a 8,900 deposit has been happened. Now the it is quite good and there is no issue. But I wanted to see everything in the slow motion. So next thing, I wanted to give you some 4,500 rupees deposit for the same guy. And as of now, his balance is this much. Let us see in the slow motion. Okay. So that is what is called debugging. So if you wanted to execute, first what we need to do, we have to write this, and instead of clicking on execute button, so I can also press F5, but I'm not pressing F5. So there is a debug. Okay, so this is Alt F5. So execute and debug. So debug means Alt F5. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to press Alt and F5. When I say Alt F5, now it is saying, hey Bhaskar, I'm executing the stored proc. Now it is the same as, hey guys, I'm replaying the video. Just watch carefully. That's what the TV viewers can understand. So the match is going to be replayed slowly in slow motion, right? So that you can see how the execution is happening. So Alt F5, that's what I told you, right? Alt F5 I have done, and then you need to press F11 to continue further. So what is going to be happening? Then I have to press F11. When I press F11, it is going to go to the database and it opens the stored proc. Now I did not open the stored proc only. I am calling the stored proc, but I wanted to see which portion of the code inside the stored proc getting executed. That they wanted to see it. Now for that purpose, I press F11. When I press F11, see, now it is opened the stored proc, which I did not open it. It is opened from the database. Clear? So it is opened from the database. Now it is saying, hey Bhaskar, I am executing this line. Now at the same time, when you see below, we have supplied all the data. Where is that we have supplied at the time of calling? Okay. When we have called, we have supplied all the data. Account ID is 141, branch, SED, and the transaction amount is this. This we have supplied, nulls. And UID is one. DOT and C balance data, it is not yet coming because the data slowly we're going to be passing later, because DOT data will come here and C balance data will come here. So that as of now, it is saying, Bhaskar, I am somewhere here. That's what SQL server is showing it to me. So if I wanted to go further, I have to again press F11 to go continue. Now press F11. So it is saying, hey Bhaskar, let me set the value for this. Now the value for this DOT is going to be coming, and you can see the value also. Okay, now value came in here, so it is set. Now it is saying, hey Bhaskar, I'm executing this line. So that means whatever be the values here, 141 BR, 1 CD, 45,000, this one, everything will go into the transaction master table. So when you press F11, you should be able to do that. After that is executed. Now it is saying, since we have transaction type is CD, now it is saying, I'm going to be executing this line. Okay, now you can see how the execution is happening clearly. Okay, now it is saying I'm executing this line. I say F11. Okay, now it is saying I'm executing this line. Okay, perfectly fine. Then F11. After that, I'm committing, and later it is saying that I'm also executing this, but it is a false condition. It will come out of the loop. It will also execute the last line. It is also false condition, comes out, and it is executed and inserted the data over there. Now when you see it, you supposed to get one more this one, and this is also got updated. Okay, now this is what is for the cash deposit. Let me do it for cash withdrawal also one. So I wanted to withdraw some 1,500 bucks. Now let us see. Normal execution means, I wanted to debug the stored proc. Let me click on debug it. When I debug it, it simply go or click on Alt F5. Okay, so it is going to be showing a slow motion. Next, F11. Click on F11. Now it is going here, F11, and it is giving the data for this column. And F11, when it is a CD, and it is going to be executing this. Now it will go here and check. It is not CD. It will go to CW. When it is CW, then we are checking what is the C balance for this guy. F11, the C balance is also we're able to get it. It is 1,34,000. This guy is going to be having it. Now, what I'm going to be doing, I wanted to withdraw the cash. Now withdrawals is happening. So now it is going to be committing and it is going to be checking also here and it comes out from that. So let me execute. So what is that it's going to be having it? Clear? So this is the things it's been doing. It is quite perfect. There is no issue at all. Now I wanted to do CQD. Okay, CQD means what? Check deposit for, let me say, some 2000 bucks. Okay. Now let me not execute button. Let me click on debug or alt F5. So when you do like this, you can again press F11 or click on continue button. Okay. If the click on continue button is not there, click on F11 and see in the slow motion. So now it is happening. Now CD is failed. CW is also failed. Now CQD, where you're going to be incrementing only this value and not the C balance value, then you will have to come out of the loop. Okay, that is also happening here. Now let us execute. Whenever you're doing check deposit, only this will get increased, but not this. Okay, that is also happened. Let us, check it for cash withdrawal, but he is having 11,900, but I would like to take some, 27,000. So this amount is insufficient. Okay. So let us do whether everything is properly happening or not. Click on debug or alt F5. Okay. F11 and it comes here. It checks and below also you can observe and it comes here. It is not, it is the right one. And immediately it checks and this is amount is this and it is checking because amount is the condition is failed because is trying to withdraw more amount and no funds in your account that will get displayed and what is going to be happening is that it will roll back whatever we have done. Press F11, rolling back and comes out of the loop. That's it. Clear? So whenever you executing any stored proc, whenever you wanted to debug any stored proc, this is how whether everything is happening properly or not, you can verify, you can see the data. This is one of the important step that you have to always use and always you have to work with this. Okay, so this is very important concept. Okay, this is how you have to write complex stored procedures and this is how you have to debug the stored procs.